Have you ever been mixing and you got to a point, you want to put effect, but you are faced with this whole multitude of effects. You don't even know which is which. You don't even know which one to reach out for. You know what you want to achieve, but you don't know how to achieve it. Don't worry, because now I'm going to explain all the possible kind of effects that we have and where they fall under, so that next time when you are mixing, you know where to go when you are looking for a specific tool. First of all, we want to talk about audio restoration effects. Audio restoration effects are those types of effects that help you to restore the fidelity and the quality of your audio. When recording audio, you might encounter one or two problems. You might have some noise in the audio. You might have some unwanted clicks and pops. Any kind of issues that you may encounter when recording your audio. Audio restoration plugins are those plugins that will help you to battle these issues and get a more refined, a more decent audio that is free of all these problems. Some of the audio restoration plugins we have are the noiser, the clicker, the reverb, the hums. It improves the quality of the audio and makes it more usable. Something that you would have trashed because of recording issues. With audio restoration plugins, it will help you to get more clarity in the audio. Dynamic effects. Dynamic effects are the type of effects that alter the dynamics of the audio. During a performance, it's almost impossible for the level to be the same. The singer will go high, go low, the bassist may play louder and softer. So when the singer goes higher, dynamic effect will help you to bring it down a little bit, and keep the performance more consistent throughout the entire recording. So we have the limiter, we have the clipper, we have compressor. All these different types of plugins help to control the dynamics of your audio. We want to talk about frequency and spectral effects. Frequency effect or spectral effect are those effects that controls and alters the frequency of your audio. Every audio material will be made up of lots of frequencies ranging from below 20 Hz to above 20,000 kilohertz. Okay, so frequency effects are the types of effects that help you to control the frequency of the audio. Let's say in the recording there is more bass and you want to bring it a little bit down. Frequency effects will help you, control that thing in the audio. Examples of frequency or spectral effects are equalizers, filters, wah-wah, and all forms of effect that controls the frequency. Pitch effects are those effects that controls the pitch or alters the pitch or corrects the pitch or the notes of the audio. All forms of pitch manipulation effects fall under pitch effect. Example of pitch effects are your auto-tune, harmonizers, formant shifters, pitch shifters, frequency shifters, and all forms of effects that alters the pitch. They all fall under pitch effect. Another kind of effect I want to talk about is audio resynthesis effect. These are the effect that resynthesizes the audio by, manipulating the audio with different kinds of algorithms to create a new layer of sound. Example of audio resynthesis effects we have are your vocoder, your talk box effect, and we have bass resynthesis effect, like we have submarine from waves, low air from waves, your R bass, your max bass, all this kind of effect that resynthesizes the audio to create a new layer of sound. Next, we are going to talk about modulation effects. Modulation effects are those effects that changes a certain parameter of the audio over time in a frequent manner. A modulation effect can alter the pitch of the audio, it can alter the frequency of the audio, it can alter the time of the audio, it can also alter the amplitude of the audio. Example of modulation effects we have is vibrato, tremolo, chorus, flanger, phasers, ring modulator, rotary, and any other kind of effect that behaves in this manner. So the next kind of effect I want to talk about is distortion or saturation effects. Distortion or saturation effects are those effects that add even or odd harmonics to the audio signal. When an audio signal exceeds a certain limit, it begins to distort and saturate. So this kind of effect that help you get that distorted, saturated sound all fall under distortion or saturation effect, or you can also call them harmonic effect. Example is obviously distortion, saturation, all forms of depth saturation, all forms of guitar pedals that adds distortion like falls, overdrive, buzz, and any other kind of effect that raises the amplitude to the point that it breaks and add more harmonics to the sound. Another kind of effect I want to talk about is time-based effect. Time-based effects are those effects that affect the time and the duration of the audio signal. Mostly they will duplicate the audio signal once, twice, thrice, 4 times, or in 200 times, 1,000 times, and million times to create a sense of depth and space and a sense of movement in the audio, or a sense of repetition in the audio. So example of time-based effect we have is delays, whether it's ping-pong delays, mono delays, stereo delay, or any kind of delay at all. Then reverbs. We also have echoes and any other kind of effect that affects the length, the time, by duplicating that actual audio as many times as possible. Next, we have special effects. Special effects are those effects that will put the audio signal in a space, maybe widen the space or make the space more narrow. For instance, we have your panner, your stereo imager, your stereo widener, and all forms of effects that affect mostly the positioning of the audio in space. We also have amplifier effect or amplifier simulation effect or amp effect or amp simulation effects. So amp effects are those effects that simulate different kinds of amps, combos, and cabinets, like all forms of guitar amps, bass amps, microphone modeling, mic preamp, and any other kind of effect that helps you to replicate the sound of amp are all amp simulation effects. Next, I want to talk about some utility tools. These are not necessarily effects, okay, because they do not really alter the audio that you are working with, but they help you in your mixing. And some of these tools are your metering, any kind of meters that help you to know what is happening to the audio amplitude, like the VU meter, your peak meter, your RMS meter, your loudness meter, and all forms of meter that informs you about the amplitude of the audio. And we also have analyzers. Analyzers are those tools that gives you analysis of what is happening in your audio. For instance, we have your frequency analyzer, your phase correlation analyzer, and your tonal balance, and all forms of analysis you may need to understand what is actually going on in your audio. And another one is your sample rate conversion, your dithering, to mention but a few. These are all different kind of effects and also utility tools that will help you. So thank you, and keep following Signature Vibes for more tips like this. See you on the next video.